What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Black Lion Group. I was asked to come out here and give a little speech for y'all. I'd like to thank James for having me here. My name's Schmitz. I am currently a general manager for the original Pancake House. I have been working out and trying to make this whole thing happen. I'm in total agreement with what James has got going on right now and trying to educate the youth and move everything forward. A little history about me. I've been in the restaurant industry since I was about 14 years old. Started out as a busser. I've cooked, I've done dishes, I've been a server, bartender, manager, kitchen manager, general manager, training general manager. Basically, if it's done in a restaurant, I've done it. A little bit about my background. I'm adopted. I have two lovely parents. Took a very good job raising me and bringing me up through everything. Grew up here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Love it. By the time I was 13, my parents decided to make a big old culture shock on me and moved me out to Wyoming, the state. Yes, Wyoming, the state. Moved to a town with population less than 1,000 people. The only black people in the community were me and my brother. It was very interesting. I had people come up to me and be like, look at me and be like, I've never met a black person before. I'm like, please don't ever say that again. First off, my name's Aaron. Just don't lead with that. That's just not how you talk to people. While I was out there, I experienced all sorts of different things. People would look at me different. People would see things different. But I didn't let that deter me from being me. I kind of took it as like a personal challenge to, be an advocate for good. Most of the time I was meeting these people or their parents or their grandparents. I was the first person they ever met. So I wanted to make sure that I represented the African American community well. I never took anything they said or anything they did as racism or ignorance. I just took it as they've never really been around anybody before, so they didn't know how to act. I feel like we can get caught up in that one way or the other. If somebody looks at you wrong or says something wrong, people are people. You just have to rise up above it and realize that, hey, it's not gonna bug me, it's not gonna stop me, it's not gonna slow me down, I'm gonna keep doing me. A little bit about, it's a little history for me, a little training history. Like I said, I've been in the restaurant industry forever. I've learned all sorts of stuff. I've had some great mentors out there. I learned how to work with people, and people of all different races, creeds, color, religion, sexual origin, whatever you want to call it. I learned that people are people. It doesn't matter who they are. You can work with anybody if you're willing to find out what they're all about. One of the biggest things and goals as a manager, as a leader, is to find out what makes everybody tick. What I have in common with person A or person B is going to be totally different. What I talk to person C and D about at work is going to be completely different. We have to find common grounds with individuals. It's not about the collective. It can't be the same script. It can't be robotic. You got to find a perfect niche with each individual person. And that's how you learn to lead them, learn how to train them, learn how to be one with them. So the goal we're going to talk about today is a little bit of financial freedom. It's the goal. How do we get there? Biggest thing we can do is work and hard work and then work again. Things that have worked for me in life are always being there. You got to be there, you got to be present, you got to be willing to do whatever it takes. There's no job that's beneath you. There's no job that you can't do. You've got to be able to perform. Some people say, oh, I don't want to do that because I'm not going to be a part of that, or I can't do that because it looks down on my career. That's not how it works. You got to be willing to do the dirty work. You got to be willing to do the work on top. You got to be willing to do just about anything. You got to hustle and you got to make it happen. Showing up for work is the number one thing. And when you be there, you got to be present. I'm going to talk to you about probably the 10 most important work habits that you can have. 10 things, they take zero talent and they make the biggest difference in the world. Number one, be on time. It's so easy. You know, I think Lombardi said it best. He made every one of his players show up 10 minutes early because 10 minutes early was on time. Be on time. It's the easiest thing. You get there, you're there. 2, create yourself work ethic. When you're there, be there. Work hard. Be caught working hard. Always be looking for things to do. Look for things that aren't being done. Be a part of the solution, not the problem. 3, put in effort. Effort. All you got to do is do. When you're there, be there. Work hard. Put in the effort. Show energy. Number 4, body language. And this is a big one. For those people out there, look at your eyes, look at your mouth, look at your cues. Your body does a lot of talking without you doing anything. It has to be a positive body language. You can't be out there putting out negative vibes. You got to have positive body language. If you're a large person, remember, you could be intimidating. If you're a small person, maybe you need to sit up a little bit more. Be there. Be aware of your body language. Energy. You have to bring energy. Whatever you're doing, however you're doing it, do it with energy. Your boss, your coworkers, all of it. It's all contagious. Show the energy. Don't be afraid. 6, your attitude. A positive attitude is the number one thing you need to have. Show up. Leave all the bull at the door. Bring a proper attitude to work. You're there to work. And while you're in that environment, make it special. Make it a positive environment. And that's on you. Somebody else's attitude should not deter you from being positive. Sorry, guys. Passion. Be passionate about what you do. Fall in love with your job. Fall in love with what you do. Not everybody has the job they want. You know, maybe you got to work at it and get there. But if you show passion and dedication and love for your job, it's going to show up. People will notice. 8, be coachable. People are allowed to help you along the way. People will help you along the way. You have to be coachable. You have to take constructive criticism. You have to be willing to adapt. You have to be willing to change. And those things come from coaching. You might not even know you're being coached at times, but always be willing to change or adapt. Listen to others. 99% of the time, they know what they're talking about when it comes to work. 9, doing extra. Always do extra. Go above. Go beyond. Show them that you care. Work is one of those things that all you have to do is push yourself. Push yourself to do that little bit extra. You know, if it's something small, if it's something large, you just got to do it. Do that little bit extra. It pays itself off. And number 10, be prepared. So important to be prepared for whatever situation that's going to come. You know, if you're at a job, you need to know how to handle that job. You have to be prepared. If you need tools for that job, bring the tools with you. If you need supplies, bring the supplies with you. Always be prepared. You never know what's going to happen out there, and you want to be able to finish the job, be at the job, handle the job. And those are the 10 things that really take zero talent. Zero talent. Anybody can do it. 1, be on time. 2, work ethic. 3, effort. 4, body language. 5, energy. 6, attitude. 7, passion. 8, be coachable. 9, do extra. And 10, be prepared. I'm telling you guys, if you can do those 10 things, no matter where you work on God's green earth, you will be promoted, you will be moved up, you will be looked at as a leader. People will follow where you are going because you are doing the right things. You could have that job at McDonald's and you do these 10 things, you will be a manager. You can have a job at Cub Foods, so you do these 10 things. You can become a grocery manager and then a store manager. These are obtainable goals for every individual. It doesn't matter who you are. None of that said you had to go to college. It said do the 10 things. Not everybody has things out there that are going to help them get to college or do that little bit extra. But everybody has it within them to do these 10 things. Next on the financial goal are the 6 P's of life. Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. I'll say it again. Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. You need to be prepared for life. You need to be prepared for your job. You need to be prepared for anything. Everything you do, go at with a plan. That's the financial thing that's there. Everybody has a financial plan. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's got a plan. It's the key to life. It's the key to happiness. It's the key to not being pushed down. In the African American community, one of the things that we don't have is financial freedom. And a lot of that comes from improper planning. And planning is all it's about. So we talked about hard work, right? That hard work pays off if you have a plan. When you execute the plan, life goes good. So here's my little bit of a plan. You pay yourself first. You get your check and you pay yourself first. And people ask me, what do you mean pay yourself first? I mean, literally take money, put it into your savings account. Put it into your spouse's savings account. Put it into your child's savings account. You pay yourself, because paying your car bill, your cell phone bill, your home mortgage, your insurance, your warranty, whatever it happens to be, all those payments aren't for you. They're for everybody else. Your mortgage is for the bank. It's not for you. When you pay yourself first and then you pay your bills, that's how you're going to become financially free. By doing these things, you set aside, I don't care if it's $50 you put into your own savings account, $20 into your child's savings account, $5 into another account. You have to pay yourself first. Because what happens in this world is stress, failure, termination. All these things can happen. And those things stop you from having financial freedom. College debt, car debt, loan debt, hey, I made a bad decision debt. All these things happen, but if you have a nest egg, you can make it through it. I myself have so many different accounts that I pay myself for. When I get my paycheck, I pay these accounts. Pay my son. I pay my vacation fund. I pay my golf fund. Yes, I have a golf fund because I'm an addict to golf. It is what it is, people. I have, excuse me, sorry about that. I have a fund. I have a 401k, a Roth fund. I have another Roth fund. All these things I pay before I pay my bills. Because at the end of the day, that's the money I am going to need. When times get tough, like we're having during COVID, some people were prepared, some people weren't. It's a simple skinny. I know it's hard, but $5 here, $10 there really adds up. So you pay yourself and you pay your accounts. Then you pay your bills. You pay your bills on time, before they're due. People will tell you, if you have a structure and you set it up, these are the days I get paid, these are the bills that come out. This is the next time I get paid, these are the days the next set gets paid. Once everything's paid, the leftover money is for you. You can choose to do what you want with it. Okay? I choose to pay myself, then my bills, and then what's left over is coming to me as well. Doesn't transfer back up to these ones. These stay alone. This is just what I have. It's my spending money. I like to do this money. The other thing that saves you financial freedom and I practice this with my son. It's big and it's very important. It's called spending control. My son is 15 years old. He has a job, he works. Yes, he's 15, he's working. And now in the 2000s, it doesn't happen very often that kids work at 15. If you can, start your kid at 14. Teach them how to work, it matters. Let them get a little bit of paper before. It'll help their future. So I'm telling you, my son's 15. And I tell him he can buy whatever he wants. I don't care. Here's the kick. If it's anything over $50, he has to wait 3 days to purchase it. If it's over 100, he has to wait 5 days before he can purchase it. By doing that, it's getting rid of the impulse buy. It's getting rid of the, I need that. Do you need it? If you sit on it for 3 days, I bet you find out a lot of the times you don't need it. With my kid, he's trying to buy shoes. He wanted to buy a new phone. He wanted to buy a new this. And after he sits on it for a week, he decides to himself, no, I probably don't need that. I'm going to keep the money there. And what happens to the money that stays there? It keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. He's 15 years old. I've been teaching him about impulse buys. He still purchases things. He still likes to have fun. He'll still do this and he'll still do that. But at the same point in time, he has to wait before he can buy stuff. As people, we need to do that more. We need to look at things and be like, do I need that? Put it on the wish list. If it's still there in another week, find out if you still want it. It's huge. Impulse buys take so much of your financial freedom away from you. Next thing I'd like to talk about is planning your purchases. You know, back in the day, they used to have layaway plans. Think about that on a personal level. If there's something you want, start an account for it. Pay that account first. Pay that account first so you can buy that thing in cash. Pay it off on the spot. Some people say financial freedom is from having a lot of money. That's not true at all. The biggest part of financial freedom is to not have debt. Because those who don't have debt can move forward faster. You think about this, if you own your car, your house, that takes away half of what people are spending their money on. If you own your house and you own your car, you're not spending on that every month, whereas a lot of people are. If you think about that, that's financial freedom. In today's society, there is not much out there that's safe. You can play the stock market, you can do this, you can do that, but paying yourself first is how you get to that level. Once you have money, you can make more money off of that money. That's how you get to financial freedom. Having zero debt should be the goal. I know it's not realistic. Say you buy a house, that's a 30-year mortgage plan. We'll pay it down quicker. If you buy a car, throw an extra $25 at it every month. Pay it off quicker. Look at your debt. Find out from your house to your car, can I pay just principal? Make principal payments as those extra payments. Don't give the money to the interest. Don't give the money to the bank. Put it towards the principal to save yourself for the future. Sorry, I need to look at the phone again. Best things you can do for yourself financially at a young age is to buy a house. So if you start working when you're young, 14, 15 years old, you work, keep going to high school, then you go to college, you keep working. As soon as you can, try and look at purchasing a house. Even if it's by yourself, purchasing a house. A lot of people think they need to wait till they get married to buy a house. That's not the truth. Having a house early will save you. Most loans are for 30 years. So if you buy a house when you're 22, you will own that house by the time you're 52. You'll have financial freedom. You'll be able to retire earlier than others because you made a conscious decision when you were younger. But none of that happens if you don't start working younger. For all of those people out there that haven't started and they haven't done this, it's not over for you. You just need to start putting money aside for yourself. Start doing it. It doesn't matter if you're 40, 30, 55. You've got to take those paychecks and pay yourself. Think about how much you can do. One of those things that I've always done through work is budget. I've had the luxury of having to do several different budgets for different companies, for different restaurants, and it's all about a budget. You know, your job makes you do a budget. There's nothing against doing a budget for yourself. Find out what you're making and budget that. Not your gross, but your net. Budget based on your net income. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. And in today's society, there are a lot of people that are out there doing side hustles. They're doing DoorDash. They're doing Shipped. They're doing what they can to earn extra income. I hope that extra income is going to themselves and not to all these other entities, because that's what it's all about. Paying yourself, keeping it for yourself. A couple of the other things that create financial freedom are being true to yourself. There's family out there, there's friends. Make sure those family and the friends aren't the reason why you're going in the wrong direction. If they're not here to move you in the right direction, it's hard, but you gotta say goodbye. Like, lifelong friends can drag you down if they're not heading in the right direction. You need to get and surround yourself with people that are heading in the right direction. When you get to a stage in your life where you're heading in the right direction, people you surround yourself with are heading in the right direction, that's when you can come back over here and start helping pull others in the right direction. You have to establish that before you go back to pulling people up. One of the things that most families think about is, I want to be better than my mom or better than my dad. And I don't mean that like as a better person, but I mean in financial sector. I want to do better than where my parents were. Well, in our community, the black community, you think about it, we got this line, right? Here's the middle, right? So the problem is, a lot of times, people are starting over here on this side of the line, and they're realizing, okay, I'm going to do better than my parents. So I got to here. I did do better than my parents. The goal is accomplished. But does that look anywhere near the middle? No. They're still so far away from getting to where they need to be, to the middle. I didn't say the end, I said the middle. So then you get another generation, they get to here. Still only so far away from the middle. Then the next generation gets to there. Look how far you have to go. You have to realize where the true middle is, people. Just being better than where your mom or your dad was doesn't always mean you've made it. It means you're taking steps in the right direction, but we still got to go. By doing these things, like I'm doing for my son, where I put money away for him, or I make him put his money away. Like, my son gets paychecks, they go into his savings account. He's a busser. He gets to keep his cash tips, and that's his money. His paychecks go to his savings account. Well, eventually, when he wants to make big purchases, he can use some of that money. But he's also going to have the other money. It's kind of like paying himself first. He's doing it. He's paying himself a lot first because he doesn't have bills. He's 14 years old. I mean, he's got a phone. But again, mom and dad pay for that. We got to think about stuff like that. So what I'm trying to do is get my son started in the right direction. So he ends up here. He's going to be passing me, and he's going to get to here. And then the hope, if he keeps doing what we've established as a successful thing to do and as habits, he can get his family to here. Now, once you're over here, it's so easy to stay here. It's easy to stay here because your money's working for you. The money works for you. To go from here to here takes a lot of hard work, but it can be done. To get to here, you just got to know what that true middle is and go after it. Go after it hard. Be passionate. Bring the right attitude. Show up on time. You can do these things. They're so easy to do. Other thing, guys, right now out here in this world, there's a lot of crazy things going on. And you can be swayed from one side to the other side. The thing that you have to remember in these times is just be true to yourself and do the best that you can for yourself. Not for anybody else, but for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you got to make yourself happy. You have to be happy. Otherwise, you can't make other people happy. Okay? Right now, in the world we're living in with COVID and all the other things, there's a lot of depression going on out there right now. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of stress. Stress, anxiety, depression. For a lot of adults, that comes from the financial section. I can't afford my car payment. I can't afford rent. I can't afford this. Well, you get that stress, and then it creates anxiety, and then it creates depression. And it's a real thing. To think of things that we can do to help our children now. Start teaching them how to be fiscally responsible. Start teaching our children how to pay themselves first. Because if from 14 to 18 they've paid themselves first, by the time they go to college, they're prepared. They're ready to rock. They have money. They're not going to have to go without because they've already taken care of themselves. Okay? From that time on, you've instilled work ethic. Even though they're going to school, they're still going to want to work because they know it's the right thing to do. They know that it's financial freedom. We put these kids on that path. By the time they're 25 and say they are going through COVID, they do have money tucked away. They have financial freedom, which helps erase stress, anxiety, and depression. So many people don't think about the financial sector being a part of anxiety, depression, but it is. It's a huge part of it. And if you do these little things now for yourself and for your children, we can move forward collectively. The other thing in the African American community or the poverty community, just in general, the biggest way we move forward is by being financially stable. If you have financial stability, people can't deny you for loans. People can't tell you no. One of the biggest things that we don't do a good job of is taking care of our credit score. Our credit score is so important. It's a number. It's a life and death number, though, people. You have to start it. If you start taking care of it when you're young and continue to foster that credit score, your whole life will be easier. You know, if you start kids young when they're working, they're doing their part, they're learning. Teach them how to be responsible. Give them payments. Have them help. Create credit for your children. Put it into the right direction. Make sure they have a loan out so they can get credit. You don't want to start on the wrong side of the credit scheme. If your credit score goes down into the 500s or even the 400s, life is going to be hard. You're going to be paying extra for everything. You can go out and get a car. Guy with great credit, 0%. Person with bad credit, 14%. 14% versus 0. Think who has it better. It's so important. That number matters. And as parents, as educators, we need to start teaching the importance of the number. And it all starts from about the time you're 18 years old. We need to set you on the right path when it comes to credit. Credit score and credit number are so valid and so important to keeping yourself afloat. If you have a great credit score, life is so much easier. You can make so much more headway. And last and not least, life and fun. Fun is something every person should have. You should have things to look forward to. You should love to do certain things. Money sometimes takes fun away, but not if you do it the right way. If you pay yourself first, you're always going to have that fun time, that fun account. You'll have a vacation to look forward to. You'll have a trip to look forward to. You'll have, like me, golf to look forward to. People don't realize financial freedom brings you fun, which brings you happiness, which keeps you moving forward. So with all that being said, just realize it takes 10 things. 0 talent, but 10 things to push yourself forward. Be passionate, be energized, be on time, and don't forget to have a plan. Thank you all. We'll be talking soon.